Hello guys, I am Renaline M. Rivera, a student of Isabela State University, Kawayan Campus, and I'm taking a Bachelor of Information Technology, and today I will be reporting my report in Networking 1, which is the data communication. So let's start. Data communication. It is the exchange of data between two devices via some form of transmission medium. So, this is the data communication. Using computing and communication technologies, we transfer data from one place to another or between participating parties. That enables the movement of electronic or digital data between two or more network nodes, regardless of geographical. Ay, sus, Mariosep. Hello guys, I am Renaline M. Rivera, a student of Isabela State University, Kawayan Campus, and I'm taking a Bachelor of Science in Information Technology, and today I will be reporting Networking 1, which is the data communication. So let's start. Data communication. It is the exchange of data between two devices via some form of transmission medium. So, for short, it is using computing and communication technologies to transfer data from one place to another or between participating parties. It enables the movement of electronic or digital data between two or more network nodes, regardless of geographical location or technologies medium or data content. So that is data communication. So let's move on to another one. The 5 characteristics of effective communication. Number 1, it uses the same transmission medium and language. So it means that we should use same transmission medium and language in order our receiver can understand it easily. So second one is direct and indirect communication. When we're talking about direct communication, happens when a speaker's true intention are communicated in his verbal message. Or yung gusto niya sabihin ay nasabi niya. Through frankness, parang ganon, frankado ba? While in indirect communication, happens when the speaker true intentions are hidden. Means, hindi niya nasabing yung totoo niyang gustong sabihin. For example, if she can say no, but she didn't want to offend other person, so she can say that, yes, maybe. So, it means that saving face. So, number 4, continuous process, or it look like having a cycle. For example, the act, plan, and check, do. It has the cycle. You have first to act, plan, check, and do your work. So, it is the cycle and is example of continuous process. Number 5, use of words as well as symbols. We know that not everybody of us can understand through just saying it or texting it, but others cannot talk or speak because they has for example, the person who has disabilities, we use symbols to or signs to speak or to talk with them. So that is an example of use of words as well as symbols in effective communication. Let's next, data. So, refers to information presented in whatever form it is agreed upon by parties creating and using the data. So means, for short, it is the idea or message by the sender to receiver that can be done to any form like texting or writing, like that. Let's move on. The three fundamental characteristics of data communication. First one is the delivery. The system must deliver data to the correct destination. So, delivery. So, when you have the message and you want to send it to your friend, you must deliver it correctly. Or what you want to say, you must deliver it correctly so that your receiver can understand it, and also the accuracy. The system must deliver the data accurately in order to the receiver can have the accurate data. And the timeliness. The system must deliver the data in timely manner or in correct timing. So, nasa dapat on time. Ganun, para okay yung data. So, next. The components of data communication. So, first one, we have the message. It is the information or the data to be communicated. Or what I said a while ago, message or data, it is an idea that we want to communicate to others. Sender. It is the device that send the data message. Or, for example, in the data communication, we use devices to send others our messages in communicating with each other. So means you are the sender. If you want to send data, you are the sender. And the receiver is the person you want to send your data. Yung pagbibigayan mo ng data mo. Or the person you want to deliver your data. Medium. It is the physical path by which a message travels from sender to receiver. So, yung medium, ito yung ginamit mong key para ma-send yung data sa receiver mo o sa gusto mong pagpadalhan ng data. Protocol. It is a set of rules governs data communication. O ito yung mga rules or the standards that in order to communicate with your data. So that is the protocol. So next. So data presentation. One is the text. Under the text, we have the American Standard Code for Information Interchange, which means it is the character encoding standard for electronic communication. The second one is the Extend American Standard Code for Information Interchange. It is character encodings are 8-bit or larger. Ito yung pagkakaiba. And the letter C, Unicode. It is the universal character encoding standard that assigns a code to every character and symbol in every language in the world. And the letter D, the International Organizational Standardization, or the Federation of National Standard Bodies. Next is the numbers. When we talk in data presentation, we can also use numbers to present a data, which expressed by a word, symbol, or figure. It is representing a particular quantity by using a numbers. So, yun yung numbers. Number 3, images. Image. Representation of a thing in art form. Number 4, audio. It is the data representation in sound, especially when it is recorded or reproduced. Video. It is the data representation in a way that recording, reproduce, or moving visual images. We are making an data representation using the moving visual images. That is the video. Next one is the data flow. When we're talking about data flow, when we're talking about data flow, let's move on to next one. Data flow. Okay. Next, data flow, or the flow of data through points. First one is we have the types. First one is the simplex. Communication is unidirectional. So the data transmit in one direction only, from one system in one direction to another system. For example, television is an example of simplex mode, because the transmission as the broadcast sends signals to our TV but never receives signals back from our TV. This is unidirectional transmission. This is the example of simplex. Next is the half duplex. Each station can both transmit and receive but not at the same time. So means it can be done both ways, which means if two systems are connected with half duplex mode of transmission, they not at the same time, nga pwedeng mag-transmit ng data. For example, if one device is sending data, the other device cannot send data until it receives the data which is already in transmission. You can say that the communication is not simultaneously. So, hindi nga siya tuloy-tuloy. Example is the radio communication device that our soldier use at the battlefields are the example of half duplex mode transmission. As they send message and they say over, and then the person on the other hand send his message, and this way they communicate but not simultaneously like we used to do in mobile phones, where the full duplex both stations can transmit and receive simultaneously. So means that both connected devices can send the received data simultaneously. For example, is the mobile phone that we use is an example of full duplex when we have communicate simultaneously, because both devices can send and receive the data at the same time when we using mobile phones. So that is the data flow. Next is let's move on to the network criteria. First one is performance. It can be measured in many ways. Or the performance, it is defined as the rate or transference of error from free data in the network criteria. So first is the transit time. It is the amount of time required for a message to travel from one device to another. So means ito yung amount lang ng required na pag-travel ng message to one to another device. So response time. It is the elapsed time between an inquiry and a response. Or example of is the requesting a file transfer and starting the file transfer. Yun yung example ng response time. The performance of the network depends of how many factors such as the number of users, type of transmission medium, capabilities of the hardware, and efficacy of the software. So next, the reliability. It is measured by the frequency of the failure time it takes a link to cover from failure and network's robustness in a catastrophe. So means when we're talking about reliability, it is the measure of how often a network is usable. So yun yun. Number 3, security. The protection of hardware, or it is how the network protect data from unauthorized access, sabi nga dito sa ating slide. So it means it is the protection of hardware or a software and data from authorized access. It is the restriction physical access to computers, password protection, limiting user privilege, and data encryption are commonly methods of having security to our data. So that is security. So let's move on to another. The categories of network. Network is categories with the following factors. Number 1 is the size, or refer to the extent or dimension. Second one is the ownership, state of fact of exclusive rights. So it focuses on our exclusive rights. Distance its cover, or yung kung ano yung mako-cover niya, yung kaya niyang abutin. Physical architecture, or it is the layout of a system, or refers to representational of the structure. So that is physical architecture. So let's move on to another one. Yan. Parang baliktad man. Una. Categories of hardware. So that is so let's move on to another, the categories. So local area network. It is a group of computers connected with each other in small places such as school, hospital, apartment, etc. It is secure because there is no outside connection with the local area network. Thus, data which is shared is safe on the local area network and can't be accessed outside. And due to their small size and considerably faster, their speed can range anywhere from 100 to 100 Mbps. It is also not limited to wire connection. There is a new evolution to the LANs that allows LAN to work on a wireless connection. So that is LAN, or the local area network. While in metropolitan area network, it covers large area by connection LANs to a larger network of computer. In metropolitan area network, various LAN are connected with each other through telephone lines. So, yon ang metropolitan. So, while the wide range covers country, continent, or even a whole world. For example, it is the internet connection, mobile broadband connection such as 3GB or 3G at 4G, etc. So means that the size of metropolitan area network is larger than LANs and smaller than WANs, or the wide area network. Because metropolitan area network covers the larger area of a city or town. Yun lang ang kanyang nasasakupan. So, ganun yung categories. So, let's move on. So, dito nga, makikita natin dito sa natin, na yung LAN is, yung sa size niya, under sa size is building or campus, ownership privately owned, few kilometers, versus starring laboratory network. So, yung example. And man, city, so yun nga nasasakupan, city or a town, yun yung nasasakupan niya. In the ownership, dito yung public company, sa distance naman, extend over entire city, LAN to LAN, cable network example. And the wide area network. So, yung size niya is yung globe. Parang nga yung 3GB, sabi ko kanina, example ko, private or public, extend over entire globe. Entire globe nga, diba? Pag gumagamit tayo ng mga broadbands, diba? Man to man, and the internet. So, yun. So, let's next. Network. It is a group of connected communication, such as a computer printers. So, communication can consist of two computers connected together on a desk, or it can consist of many local area network connected together to form a wide area network across a continent. The resources can be files, ayun nga, gaya dito sa atin, printers, sa slide natin, printers, hard drives, or CPU number crunching power. So, yan yung network. Next, in mid-1960s, standard-alone devices. So, what we mean with the ARPA? So, let's move on in the mid-90s standard-alone devices. So, base in my research about mid-90s standard-alone devices, and wala. Ito. mid-1960s standard-alone devices. First is the Advanced Research Project Agency. So means back to early 1960s, J.C.R. Linkleader and Lawrence Roberts, both colleges of Glenrocks at Mint, both went on to lead the computer science program at the ARPA, or the Advanced Research Project Agency. While the DoD, Department of Defense, it is the Department of Defense model, 4 layers model that was developed in early 1970s for the Defense Advanced Research Agency. So means itong Department of Defense, nabuo siya para sa advance sa ARPA. So yun yung connection within these two. So let's move on to another slide. In 1967, the ACM, or Association for Computing Machinery. So means, under that, in the United States, Robert published over plan for the so-called ARPANET. The early packet switches were known as the Interface Message Processor on the Labor Day. In 1969, the first IMP was installed. So, sa ACM naman, ito yung tumutukoy sa Continent addressable memory in a special type of computer memory used in certain very high-speed searching application. So, nagamit siya para sa ito yung special memory sa pag-research ng mga application. So, yun. So, ituloy ko na lang basahin yung sa On the Labor Day in the 1969, the first IMP was installed at UCL with 3 additional MPs. So, ito yun na yun. Yung may 4 nodes yung ARPANET, nung nabuo siya ng Labor Day, may nabuo. Yung una is sa UCL or sa University of California in Los Angeles. Sumunod na yung tatlo, yung University of California, Santa Barbara, Stanford Research Institute, and University of Utah. NCP. So, the first host-to-host protocol between ARPANET and system has known as the Network Control Protocol. So, yun yung connection ng NETs, CP. So, pioneering work on interconnected networks, in essence creating a network of networks, was done by Victor Cerf and Robert Kahn. The term interneting. So, makikita natin sa slide yung term interneting. Ito yung project nilang dalawa. Was going to describe this work. This principle continue to serve as the architectural foundation from today's internet, even 25 years later, and testament to insight of the early internet designers. These architectural principles were embodied in the TCP protocol, the encapsulation or the wrap-then-wrap, the datagram, the prioritized time over reliability, function of a gate between two networks. So next, the short thereafter, the TCP. TCP is one of the main protocols of the Internet Protocols suite. So one is the TCP segmentation. It is the process of carving up between client and server and established before data can be sent. So, yun. Samantalang yung TCP reassembly, it is the segments into a data stream and feeds that data stream to the application. The best known example of is the HTTP transfer of a web page. Next is the error detection. In error detection, provides reliability using error control. Includes mechanism from detecting computer segments of duplicate and duplicated segments. So, yun ginagawa niya. Or so, para malinaw, TCP or the IP, Internet Protocol today, Network devices are network interface cards, and their software drivers. Typically, they are Internet cards, token ring cards, and WANs links, and they can also be modems and serial ports. IP stands for Internet Protocol. Its main job is to find the best route through the Internet to the destination. IP uses IP address to identify host machine and the network. So, yun yung ginagawa ng ITCP or the Internet Protocol. So, let's move on to physical topology. So, means when we're talking about physical topology refers to the interconnected structure of a local area network. The method employed to connect the physical device on the network with the cables and the type of cabling used all constitute the physical topology. First one, or the topology refers to the way in which a network is laid out physically. So, yun nga yung topology. So, next one is the mesh. Communication is point-to-point. So, means each device is connected to every other device on the network through a dedicated point-to-point link. When we say dedicated, it means that the link only carries data from the two connected devices only. First, in the mesh, advantages is no data traffic issues as there is a dedicated link between two devices, which means the link is only available for those two devices. And also it is reliable and robust as failure of one link doesn't affect the link and the communication between other devices on the network. And also it is secure because there is a point-to-point link. This unauthorized access is not possible. The fault detection is easy. So, yun yung mga advantages niya. Samantalang yung mga disadvantages na mesh is about of wires required to connect each system in tedious and headache. Since each device needs to be connected with other devices, number of I/O ports required must be huge, malawak. Scalability issues because a device can be connected with large number of devices with a dedicated point-to-point link. So, yun naman yung issue niya about the... So, next is the bus. So, when we took on the bus is main cable, and dito sa slide natin, signals are shared with the backbone cable. So, yung backbone cable yung gamit niya. So, bus, for more information, this is a main cable and all the devices are connected to this main cable through drop lines. First one is advantages of bus is easily installation. Each cable needs to be connected with backbone cable. Less cables required than mesh and star topology. But its advantages, difficult in fault detection. Not scalable as there is a limit of how many nodes you can connect with backbone cable. So, yun lang yung problema sa bus. Diba? So, next is the star. So, when we talking star, signals are passing through the central device. Or for more information, it is device network is connected to a central device called hub. Unlike mesh topology, star topology doesn't allow direct communication between devices. A device must communicate through hub. If one device wants to send data to other device, it has to first send the data to hub, and then the hub transmit the data to the designated device. Its advantages is less expensive because each device only need one I/O port and needs to be connected with hub with one link. Second one is easier to install. So the star is easier is install, less amount of cables required. So maliit lang yung amount ng mga cable na kailangan because each device needs to be connected with the hub only. And it is robust. If one link fails, other link will work just fine. Easy fault detection because the link can't be easily identified. While disadvantages is if hub goes down, everything goes down. Yun lang. None of the device can work without hub. Yun lang. Kasi dumepende siya sa hub. Hub requires more resources and regular maintenance because it is the central system of star topology. So yun, matrabaho nga lang siya. So next is yung ring. Signals are circulate within the network. So mean each device is connected of the two devices on either side of it. This structure forms a ring. This is known as ring topology. Kaya natawag siyang ring topology dahil form siya ng ring, diba? If a device wants to send data to other device, then it sends the data in one direction. Each device in ring topology has a repeater. If the received data is extended for other device, the repeater provides this data until the intended device receive it. So, yun yung kagandahan ng ring. So, next, advantages ng ring is easy to install, managing easier as to add or remove a device from the topology. Only 2 links are required to be changed. While disadvantages of ring is a link failure can't fail the entire network as the signal will not travel forward due to failure. So, next one is the traffic issues since all the data is circulated in a ring. Magkakaroon siya ng time kasi paikot lang naman siya, di ba? Pabilog ring nga. So, next. So, as you can see, ito yung mga na-explain ko na. So, sa mesh, advantages niya, point-to-point link, robust, privacy, or security. Sa disadvantage, expensive and cable and I/O connection, sheer bulk of wiring. Yun nga yung sabi ko kanina. And one in connection. Tapos sa bus naman, less expensive than mesh, ease of installation. Sa disadvantages na difficult reconnection, difficult to add station, limited number of station, backbone cables, feature, star, point-to-point link, robust, less expensive than mesh. Yun yung advantages ng star. Disadvantages of star is using central device and the future is the hub. Ring, it is the point-to-point to both side only, easy to install and configure. Yun yung advantages ng ring. And disadvantages, unidirectional traffic of signal. Yun nga kasi paikot siya. Future is the repeater. So that's all my report. Thank you for listening. God bless.